Hey guys, Shudgy Phillips here with my review of 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I will say, this is one of those movies I'm sure a lot of people too who are going to do reviews of this are kind of wondering, how in the hell can you review this movie? Because it's another one of those movies, J.J. Abrams lately, a lot of his movies, that he's produced or directed, have got kind of like under wraps with like the plot, and especially, the stars of Force Awakens, what happens in this. This movie, is it or isn't it a sequel to Cloverfield, which came out, I believe it was like 2008, so it's been a long time. And this, I will say though, this is not a shaky cam film like Cloverfield, because a lot of people were really turned off by Cloverfield, because it was kind of the start of the, there was a couple other things around that time, but it was really heavy at the time when the shaky, handheld kind of found footage movies were kind of taking over in 2008 around that time. And Cloverfield was a serious found footage one that was like to the point of a lot of people were getting sick in the theater with the shaky cam aspect and that kind of stuff. So, like, it's not that kind of movie at all. It's not a shaky cam or anything like that. It's just done, regular film style and not at all that kind of thing. But if like I said, the movie was kind of kept really under wraps. No one even knew that they were. There was always talk about a Cloverfield sequel. Like I said, is it or isn't? Who knows? But there's always talk about there being one for years upon years, ever since the first one came out. And then they finally had the trailer for this premiere when no one even knew that it was even filmed and already done. It was kind of like the new Phantasm film, which is done. Who knows when it's going to come out, but it just was actually shot and being shot over all these years and no one even knew they were doing it. It was kind of like that with this. It was, being filmed. No one had any idea. They had the trailer premiere, Super Bowl, and then people realized, oh, it's coming out. And, there was only 2 months or so in between actually the trailer and then, getting released. But as you saw for the trailer, you basically see people down in the bunker. You see John Goodman, another guy, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. And it's kind of like, what is going on down there? You can tell that she doesn't want to be down there. Beginning of the movie, and I'm basically only going to tell you the stuff that happens at the very beginning of the movie, and then just talk a little bit about the movie. And I can imagine too a lot of people are going to do reviews where they do like a spoiler type review, kind of talking about certain aspects more. May or may not do that down the line. But the movie's basically, like I said, it's in the beginning of the movie. You see Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. She's had some kind of a fight with her husband or boyfriend. She's kind of driving away, leaving, avoiding his car calls. She gets into an accident, goes off the road, and then she wakes up and she's down in a bunker with John Goodman down there and this other guy, and it's kind of like, she's like, what is she doing down there? John Goodman starts coming into the room going, and she's like, oh, you let me out of here, I need to call people. Oh, no one's looking for you. And John Goodman is very cold and very creepy, and you don't know at all what to think of his character. You don't know if you're supposed to like him. You don't know what to think. He's like going, I saved you, I saved you. And it's pretty much, what is she doing down there? Why is she down there? And John Goodman starts saying certain things about what has happened outside. And it's kind of like, is this guy crazy? Because there's even sort of some kind of comedic aspects a little bit to the kind of things that he's saying, because he's a doomsday prepper kind of character. He's kind of saying some real crazy stuff about planning and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, you really don't know what to think about his character. You don't know what to think, if you can trust anything he's saying or what. And you also, in the back of your mind too, are thinking of the Cloverfield movie. So then you're thinking, like, is this a sequel to this? Is something involving, like, with what happened in the Cloverfield film happening outside? You really don't know. And that's what kind of made the movie interesting. Like, I said, I actually really liked this movie. There were some things that I didn't totally like, mainly things with the end. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but there's just some things with the end that I thought, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those kind of things, like I said, you could almost do a spoiler review talking more about that. But as a movie, though, John Goodman really steals this movie. He was really, really cool and actually pretty creepy, and just the whole vibe to him. It was kind of like, don't cross him and don't say anything. It's like he was totally had that kind of vibe about those doomsday preppers, where you kind of would feel like this is what it would be like if you were down in a fallout shelter with a doomsday prepper that was like sort of nuts. And like the way he was saying things and what he said was pretty much what goes, and if you try and cross him, it will not be good. You have to pretty much agree with everything he says and go, yeah. You have to pretty much be a yes man to John Goodman down there. And like, I always love movies like this kind of movies, like in a setting like this, or like I always love Blast from the Past. I know it's not the greatest movie, but it was kind of like, more of Blast from the Past being down in this fallout shelter kind of thing. Like I said, though, I didn't love everything with the end in ways and stuff like that, but like, what is or isn't happening with it. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything like that, but it was just kind of like, oh, I kind of wish it was more just like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things, like I said, you could almost do a whole other thing, but I don't know if I will or will not do one of those. I would like to hear, though, what you guys thought of the movie. I did think, though, it had some really tense aspects to this movie and really was very well acted and really, like I said, it was relatively original, I would say, and had, they really, even though the movie had a lot of in one setting in this fallout shelter, the music is really what kind of elevated the movie to kind of give it a real tense aspect. The music was really well done. I love the music in this. It was some of the best music I've heard in a long time for this kind of a film, and just, I don't know, I really thought it was cool music. But anyway, though, guys, like I said, let me know what you guys think of this movie. Interested in hearing your thoughts on this. And like I always say, thanks again for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.